How many games the IPs does Microsoft have versus PlayStation?
We'll have Chuck answer that in the chat. Chuck, let us know.
Level 857 Video Game Podcast.
Sub $400 PlayStation 5 price leak smashes all other rumors to bits. So that seems to be the rumor.
That's the rumor.
That the price, well, the rumor before.
It's gonna be, before the rumor was like $1,000.
The rumor was more than $1,000 before.
Yeah.
That was the first rumor?
So whether I could take this, I'm gonna take it with a grain of salt
All of
because
it, man. Yeah.
who knows what the real price is? If you can go from $1,000 to $400,
Right.
or less, it was like $395 or something like that.
Yeah.
So this was the Canadian price. Where did we get this from?
$400.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have the link in the description.
That's gonna be $5.99, y'all. $5.99.
Listen, it got listed on Canadian gamers retailers for $5.59 Canadian, which is $3.88. It says Play and Trade, Vancouver Island.
Wow.
So, and this news is from where? This is from.
That's awesome though.
ccn.com.
See that's actually like
But-
if they release it at that.
Listen, the the amount of money that Canadian money is worth versus American money right now is super low.
Well, right now, yeah.
So that price is the wrong price. First of all, if it is $400, if they want to, like, because they said originally that the PlayStation manufacturer parts are worth $450. So just making the system costs $450. Sometimes the companies take a loss if they can afford it.
Yeah.
$50 loss, not so much, but they usually take a loss to begin with instead of making, and then when they lower the price, they'll come out with that slim version or just change the components in it when it gets cheaper, then they start making money. So the system isn't what they really make their money on, it's the games. But right now, there's not really much games that are going to be for these systems for the first year. So they're going to take a big hit, and to entice people to buy these systems, they might have to lose money to do so.
There's two different camps that I fall into with this. Number one, it's all right. This Sony, right? They can't afford to lose this next generation of consoles, right? They can't afford to do that. You got Microsoft, who has the money to do that.
They can afford to have it lower.
They can't afford to have it lowered to whatever price it is. So they're in a fucking like a really bad position right now, where it's like, do they take a loss and release it for $400? Let's say they do it $450. Let's say they do it at that.
They did
right?
it for
Which is it's more
They've
than what I
never
would
done
pay,
that.
because I would only do it $400 to be like the most that I would pay. But at $450, I would wait for a sale. Me personally, however, there are people that would go crazy for that.
Yeah.
Right. So let's say they sell it for $450 and sell it at a loss. Okay, people will go insane for that shit.
Has there been a system that's been anything 50?
It would be a system seller. Here's
Super Nintendo at
but here's the
$250?
reason why it would be a system seller. You have a cheaper system because whatever the Xbox Series X sells for, you have a cheaper system. Okay,
Rumored.
Sony, right?
We haven't heard
Rumored, right?
Yeah.
Let's say they sell it for $500, an extra $50.
If it's
right?
$400 to $500,
How many games the IPs does Microsoft have versus PlayStation?
We'll have Chuck answer that in the chat. Chuck, let us know how many
Now, you know
IPs.
all the games that are going to be released on the PS5. You already know that they leaked already that the Spider-Man 2, they leaked that information. That they are developing that. You know that there's a new God of War coming out, right? They're making a sequel for the next generation
You just
console.
ruined the new one for me, man. I didn't know. I thought that was the last game.
Wow. But you know this is happening. They have a ton of IPs, a lot of IPs.
but none of them announced because they have no news out.
Well,
You don't know if it's coming out.
we don't
for
even
the
know what the
system.
fucking price is of the system. We don't know what the system
Nothing.
looks like. We don't know what the fucking controller looks like.
Actually,
We don't have any information.
I
Only
agree with
thing we-
Turbo. I think it's going to be around 500. 400, I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I think that's way too low. 500.
Well,
I was just saying a hypothetical. Let's say they did sell it for that.
the Pro was $399.
Just think about it though. As somebody that's frugal, as buy, like it's like you do the math. Like you buy the system for a particular game that you want, right? Let's say they really, I don't know when these other games are coming out. Obviously,
What
it's
could
not
possibly be out for PlayStation? Just offhand.
Spider-Man 2?
What's the title that you think Sony is ready to release when
Last
this
of Us
first
2
comes
should
out?
be ready by then.
Last of Us 2 is coming out this year.
Well, yeah, that's going to
But-
be for.
yeah.
Is it going to be for PS5 though? Do you think they'll have a
Yeah.
version?
yes,
Okay.
because they already said it in the the tech conference or whatever that they were going to.
They better have that for PS5.
It was going to be backwards.
It's backwards compatible, but will
Now
it take advantage enough?
That's the only balance
Like
though
boost
that
up.
I can see.
Yeah.
That's the only balance that I can see with Microsoft is that like they don't really have to sell their freaking system because they made their library pretty practically backwards compatible for the next generation system. All their library, like everything that they have, pretty much.
If they don't have Halo when they come out, that's a huge mistake.
Don't come
Microsoft.
out. Don't come out.
Yeah.
They should not come out if there's no Halo to start.
They have to have that as a release time.
The real question is though, is this thing gonna come out this year? Or either of these systems?
Apparently,
we don't know.
What they're saying is that it's still scheduled to come out this year.
Right.
Because the manufacturing isn't really starting until June.
Mm-hmm.
Gives them enough time.
They're doing it, and China is still back in business for the most part, so they're not really stuck. I mean, they didn't start basketball, but they are. The factories and stuff they can
start working.
So it's not, and they started like doing stuff in like India and stuff like that. But they probably shut those down now. So the basics in China, they have started doing this stuff again.
Big Choco said, if there's no Halo, Spider-Man, or God of War, I'm not getting any console this year.
No, that's a true statement.
What if there's a new game? No one ever thinks of a new game.
Well, the thing is, if it's a new game, I'm not spending that money for a new game.
But I'm saying, what if that game is extraordinary? Like, what if it is a great game?
I can wait.
But you can wait.
I have
you
to
can
play
definitely wait because if it's let's say it's a new big Nintendo, you're waiting for that Zelda, that Metroid. If it's a Sony game, you're waiting for that God of War.
Those are all sequels.
First of all,
it's like if it's a very expensive system that's like $500 to $600, you better have a flagship.
Horizon was amazing.
Here's the problem I have with
was the first
Microsoft. What I think is their mistake is that they've announced, and this is officially announced, that their next generation console, everything that's available for the Xbox One, is going to be playable on the new console. So
but which Xbox One? No, I was kidding.
Well, any of them.
Which one?
No, they're all going to be the new next generation console is going to play everything. So when they release a new fucking game, it's going to be released on the Xbox One.
Yeah.
So what's the incentive of getting the next generation console?
Right.
Why would you? If I could play it on the PC, I could play the same game on my Xbox One. If I could play, why would I have to get the next gen console?
It depends on what you have.
Exactly. So
if I don't want to spend $800, $900 on a graphics card for a PC, obviously not getting it for the PC.
Another thing I was thinking about with the PS5, I know this. I remember we had the news. What was it? A week ago, we were talking about backwards compatibility with the PS4 or 5 or whatever, and backwards compatibility with PS5. They've only confirmed PS4.
It'll be nice if they announce stuff.
I actually looked through their library of PS4 games. They've actually released remasters of a lot of PS3 games.
Yeah.
Like good PS3 games. They also have they have a really good library of.
And people aren't really looking to play PS1 and 2 games on
it.
Not really.
And if you can't, if you want to, I mean,
especially one, you can't do it. You can't do it, man. Unless you redo it, you can't do it. It's so ugly.
You can get a PS3 and it still has a HDMI cable. You could still, it's not like it's horrendous. And there's HD collections and
it
stuff.
depends on what they can do with the new stuff. The new tech, what can they do with it?
Yeah, that shit always cracks me up though. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, no.
But like it just always cracks me up that you got the Genesis, Super Nintendo, those are ageless times. Like they still age very well. But like when you go to Saturn, the PS1, like, and they did release awesome games for those systems, but it's like if you're gonna bring those out again, like they're so fucking hideous that you have to either do a remaster.
Yeah. Well, that's like the 8-bit of 3D.
Yeah, and it's
Star Fox and like the FX chip games are like the Atari of 3D.
Yeah. It looks so bad. Like the God of War cutscenes, I was like, fuck.
Listen,
those are the original cutscenes.
They still had Toe Ball 2 and stuff. Like they still look. They still look good.
That was smooth though.
There were games that were good at the end of its run.
That was some smooth looking game.
But if you look at Tekken 1. And look at like Virtual Fighter 1. Like those are broke. Like they look bad, but they looked astounding then.
Yeah.
And then you also have like Street Fighter the movie. Like those are all bad looking.
Yikes. Big Choco said that polygon drip is serious.
No, it's true. It's true though. Really,
they were learning.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is about those. You could take those and you redo them, and they look so dope when you redo them. It looks
amazing when it came to
awesome. And
look at Tomb Raider. Look at Tomb Raider 1 versus Tomb Raider now. It's a huge difference.
No, it really is.
Yeah.
It's
no, it is, man.
It's you gotta take those
funny?
IPs and just.
So that type of jump isn't gonna happen.
Speaking of Tomb Raider and going along with what you're saying, like I played Tomb Raider, the remastered one, the original remastered Tomb Raider on Xbox 360, And then I bought it again because it was on sale. For like
Of course you did.
For $15. There's not many games I buy again.
$15
Exactly. That's because I was like, oh shit, it was on PS4, and then I found out in PS Plus like 2 months later
Free.
they released it for free.
Oh, man.
I was like, shit. But it was $15. It was not that bad. So,
I did the same thing.
but I should have waited because I didn't know that they were gonna release that
It
shit.
pays to wait though.
It does. It
Valkyria 4, I paid what, 65?
Right.
2 months later, it was
30.
20. It's 20.
Yeah.
20. Yeah.
Half, I was like,
Oh, look at for anybody who hasn't played Uncharted 4. Next, right now it's available
free
for
tomorrow.
free on PS Plus.
well, why don't you
Was it
ask
now?
Turbo 857
Right now.
because he still hasn't beaten the series, and he started before I did.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
but
I have those already. So yeah.
No, but
Do I
play-
need it free? I had what you call Shadow Colossus also.
Yeah.
I didn't want to get. I was
Yeah.
thinking about using because I bought the year
Right.
subscription for PlayStation Plus.
Right.
I didn't use the code yet because I was like, do I want to use this just for Sonic Forces?
Right.
Because I could probably get Sonic Forces for like $5.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't use it yet.
But you know what? I remember playing it also, the Tomb Raider, and it wasn't that much of a big jump. It was just the frame rate was a little bit smoother.
It was nice.
It was locked. It was like a higher frame rate.
It was
That
the anniversary edition.
That was it. Other than that, it was literally the exact same game. I thought it was gonna look like a tremendously different. It wasn't.
I mean, compared to the originals, come on.
If you compare it to the original Tomb Raider, yes,
Yeah,
it was a
there's
big
difference.
fucking leap. But
There's a difference.
no, but it's crazy, man. This is gonna be an interesting next gen
If they-
console.
Listen, if
generation.
Sony announces the price once and for all,
Yeah.
I don't know what they're waiting for. I know they're probably waiting for Xbox, but Microsoft needs to announce it. They need to announce it. Let's hope that everyone announces everything by June,
Right.
and we can know what this stuff is going to actually cost. Because like the prices being this low, I don't believe it because of what's happened over in China and the manufacturing cost
Same here, man.
of doing all this.
I'm
They
sca-
cannot afford to release it that cheap.
I'm skeptical about that, and I'm okay with them fucking holding back and being like, "Yo, we need a couple 6 months, please."
If they
Like,
want to release it for that price,
you
I'm
know.
all for it. Go
Yeah.
for it. I'm not telling you to release it at a higher
Right.
price.
But I know
Believe me.
I know they have shareholders that are, they. But with everything going on right now, it's understandable if they go, and I don't think anybody out there would be pissed if they said,
They probably just won't buy it until it's $400 anyway. Most
"I know
people
I
probably
won't."
I'm not,
I won't.
I'm not touching a damn thing.
I know I won't
So-
unless it's fucking 400. That's my price, man. But they have the IPs. I remember looking up not too long ago. I remember looking up online real quick before we go to the next segment. Looking up online all the original IPs of each, like Nintendo, Microsoft and Sony, and Nintendo was obviously had the most. Sony was literally like right underneath Nintendo.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that, man. I didn't realize how many IPs, like original IPs, they had. Very close to Nintendo, man.
It's tough.
Listen,
Very, very close.
Dana Carvey needs to tell us the price.
Mark Cerny, damn it. It's Mark Cerny.
That's Dan Carvey. I don't give a fuck what
He's
anyone
the
says.
fucking architect.
I don't care who you are. I just want the price.
He's the
Yes,
architect.
exactly. You gotta hit up his Twitter, be like, "Yo, what's the price, dude?"
I'll tell you. Exclusive.
I made sure to put him in the graphic right there for you guys to see.
You should have put Dana Carvey in the fucking.
I was tempted to put Dana Carvey next to him.
You should have.
I should have,
should
but I didn't want to offend anybody, man.
It's not offensive. He
You
looks
know how-
just like him.
You know how people are offended these days. No, I'm sorry. But anyway, let us know what you guys think in the comments as always.